Uplifting families and building stronger communities are significant challenges, especially in underserved areas facing poverty and systematic inequities. However, through the work of nonprofit organizations, we can create opportunities for all and change the narrative.
One of the big misconceptions or myths about poverty or low income is that poverty or being low income is a choice, or that you're uneducated, and it's farthest from the truth. So instead of blaming individuals for being circumstanced in poverty or being low income, of really trying to understand how did they get there in the first place, and what are some of those systemic root causes and factors, and how can we combat that?
The challenges that we're facing here in the Houston region are probably not very uncommon to what the rest of the country is facing. Workforce development, immigration, technology, natural disasters. We have 92% of our kiddos under the age of 3 that live in low-income communities that do not have access to quality early childhood education. We have 6 out of every 10 households that do not have access to internet. We have 550,000 young adults under the age of 25 who do not have a high school diploma or GED. This is not the way it should be. We cannot expect the future economy, the future city to thrive when we have data that way.
By being a citizen in America, you definitely want to improve communities. You definitely want to make sure that you have an educated workforce. You also want to make sure that individuals have a fighting chance or they have a seat at the table.
The underpinning of all of that is access. What I have found at BakerRipley is that every day we work alongside people who are so talented and hardworking, and guess what? They want the same thing in life that every one of us wants, and that's just an opportunity.
Nonprofit organizations are not just institutions that offer handouts to people in need. Their role is to provide a hand up with resources that help individuals and communities thrive. They work to promote social and economic mobility, equity, and justice. Real change happens when people have access to opportunities.
BakerRipley and other nonprofits like it around the country do a great service to our community, but they can't do it without the volunteer investment of as many people as we can get involved. Sometimes we make the mistake of seeing efficiency, seeing good works and think, well, they've got that covered. But the truth is, we only have it covered because we have people that are working here and volunteering their time, their resources, their wisdom to help us expand our reach. So every person out there's a piece you can play to some organization and give of your time, give of your gifts, give of your talent. We want to make a better Harris County, we want to make a better Texas, and ultimately we want to make a better world. So everybody has a part to play in that.
BakerRipley, a nonprofit social services organization based in Houston, is a leader in community development and transformation. Their unique approach focuses on access to education, connection, and resources to empower hardworking people in low-income communities, thus changing the narratives about poverty.
At BakerRipley, we truly see that the big challenge is ensuring that our low-income communities, our emerging communities, have a ladder towards socioeconomic mobility. We see it through early access for childhood education. We see it through literacy and job training for our young adults. And we see it with creating some disruption around the digital divide.
When I think about the impact that BakerRipley has had on me, my family, the community around us, it is inspiring. For example, when I think about the ways BakerRipley has impacted my neighborhood, I see the difference in the connections between families and what's needed. Oftentimes when we have a family in the community that are newly arrived or have blended immigration status, there's a gap in knowledge of how to navigate formal systems, and BakerRipley fills that gap. When I think about my own family journey and connecting to medical care, professional services, access to education, BakerRipley has been that gap filler and has been there to connect the dots and make sure that people like my family have connections to a future or an option. And so when I think of BakerRipley, I think their largest impact in my community is opportunity.
For BakerRipley, we have individuals from diverse backgrounds. We come from socioeconomic backgrounds as well, and races and ethnicities and ages. And I think it's very paramount that when we recruit folk from diverse backgrounds, you really get an enriching experience. You get a diversity of perspectives to where folk are not having blinders on, and we're all in it together. We're all leaning in to understand, and we're all leaning in to be part of the solution.
What drew me to BakerRipley is the scope of the organization, the scale at which we have been able to develop over these 100+ years to really respond at a high level to complex needs in our community. It's truly a gratifying place to be.
Together, we can build better communities and change narratives about poverty. Join BakerRipley in their mission to empower people as they climb the socioeconomic mobility ladder and strive to achieve their goals and aspirations. Visit BakerRipley.org or call 713-669-5317 to learn more and get involved.